everyone and welcome back to Unique Stitch Designs. In today's video I am going to show you how to crochet these very easy slippers. For today's slippers I will be using this chunky yarn. So with this chunky yarn I will be using 5mm hook. You will need a pair of scissors, a yarn needle, a stitch counter is very handy to have, and also a stitch marker. And very handy, a measuring tape. We are going to start with the slip knot. Wrap the yarn around your two fingers and create a cross. Go under this first one on top of the second one, pull it down and twist your hook and release. And this is your slip knot. Now we are going to chain a long chain, and the chain have to go from the heel to your big toe, and there will be your measurement, and then you will add 3 chains in the front of your big toe and 3 chains behind your heel, and then you will add 1 more chain, and then 1 more chain will be your turning chain. So for me I will chain 24 plus 3 plus 3 plus 1 for size 3. So check this video right here. As you can see, I added 3 chains behind my heel and 3 chains in front of my big toe, because we will be working with the slip stitches and it will shrink. So once you added 3 in the front, 3 behind your heel, you will add 1 more, and the 1 more will be your turning chain. So I will have 31, and now I will start in the second chain from the hook, and I will place my first slip stitch like this all the way across. So simply insert in every chain like this and work your slip stitches. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull through the loop you had on your hook and work like this until you come to the other side. So once you have your last stitch, work your slip stitch, chain 1 and turn your work. For row 2, you will work only into those back loops. As you can see here, into those right here, you will work slip stitch, back loop only. So let's start. So for row 2, insert into this stitch right here, yarn over, pull through and pull through the loop you had on your hook. So continue placing your slip stitches all the way across, back loop only. And I am at the end of this row 2, and as you can see I have only last stitch left, and I like to go through the both loops like this, only into your last stitch, but you can also go through only 1 loop as we did all the way across, but this way it will be much stronger. So chain 1 and turn your work, and now we are ready for row 3. So for row 3 you will do exactly the same. You will continue placing your slip stitches all the way across, and you will do as many rows as you need for your slippers, because everyone's got different feet and these slippers are for any size. So you will simply measure it like this, place it like so, where is your middle toe, and you will work as many rows as you need to go around your big toe and wrap it like this, so it will slightly cover your big toe. And once you get to this point, we will be ready to work on our middle part. So don't forget, measure like this, place it in the middle where is your big toe, go around until you cover your big toe. And it's very handy to have this stitch counter to count your rows so we can do our other slipper exactly the same. If you don't have it, of course you can use piece of paper and a pen. So I am on row 3 and I will continue working on my rows until I have the right measurement for my size 3. So continue placing slip stitches, back loop only for as many rows as you need for your size. And remember, this last stitch you can go under one loop or through the both loops. It's up to you. The both ways are correct. Chain 1 and turn your work, and don't forget to turn your stitch counter. So I am on row 4. So I have 15 rows for my slippers, and don't forget to write it down because it's very important. And now, as we have done slip stitches, it will stretch a lot, as you can see. So let's just measure it like this. Make sure you got a little bit in the front like me. So again, go from the bottom, from your middle toe, and wrap it around like this so it will cover your big toe. Do not stretch it. And now we are ready to work on our middle part. So again, place it like this so it will cover your big toe. And now we need to decide how deep we want this front part to be for our slippers. So I decided to go somewhere here. So I will just place the stitch marker right in this stitch here, like this. Chain 1 and turn your work. And now do not count chain 1 and count how many stitches you have from here all the way to your stitch marker. So you may have less than me or more than me, depends on your size. So for me, I have 15 chains. So I chain 1 and now we will place our first slip stitch right here, not in the chain 1, and you will work slip stitches all the way down to your stitch marker, and you should have 14 stitches or just one less. Like this. And where is your stitch marker? There will be your last stitch. Take your stitch marker out, chain 1 and turn your work. And again, do not work into the chain 1, work into the next stitch, and again place your slip stitches all the way across. And don't forget to count your rows again, so you know what to do for your other slipper. So you will have both slippers exactly the same. And at the end of each row, I decided to go under one loop, not under the both as I did before. So again, chain 1 and turn your work and start your another row like this. And you will work on your middle part like this, placing the slip stitches for as many rows as you need for your size. So if you have wider feet, you may need more rows. If you have slimmer feet, you may need less rows. So you will continue until you reach the small toe, and you will measure like this. Again, place it in the middle of your foot at the bottom. Wrap it around your big toe and measure it. As you can see, I don't have enough and I need to continue until I reach my small toe like this. So I will add few more rows and then I show you what to do next. So I am going to write down first. I have done 15 rows, then I have done this middle part, so you can do as many rows as you need again. So 7 to 9, it's up to you. If you want them more tight, you will do less. So I have done 7 for my small size, and then we will end up with 15 rows again as we started. So our slippers will be exactly the same on both sides. So continue placing your slip stitches for as many rows as you need for this middle part, and once you have it, then we can finish it with 15 rows again on the other side. And once you have it, we will count how many stitches we have left, like this. So we had 30 stitches here. Then for the middle part, we had 14 stitches. So 30 minus 14 equals 16. So that will be your chain on the other side. And you will add one more for turning chain. And I will chain 17 chains for the other side. And of course, you will chain as many as you need for your size, like this. And then you will measure it, and you should have both sides the same. Now you are going to turn this chain like this, and you will start into this second chain from the hook and place your first slip stitch and so on until you get to the point where is your middle part, and then I show you what to do next. But don't forget, we need to count the rows. So I had 15, so I will do 15 on the other side. So the slipper will be exactly the same on both sides. So place your slip stitches in every chain like this. And I have only few stitches left before I reach the start of that middle part of my slippers. So I have one chain here and one more here. And from now on, as you can see, I have my proper stitches. So from now on, I will be working again slip stitches, back loop only as we did before. So you will place your slip stitches like this all the way across. And once you have only one stitch left, you can go under the back loop or under the full stitch. Chain one and turn your work. And from now on, you'll be working as many rows as you need for your slippers. Just make sure you have exactly the same number as you started. So I started with 15 rows, so I will end up with 15 rows on this side. So you will continue placing your slip stitches back loop only from now on, all the way across. And once your chain starts again, right here, you will simply do exactly the same, because now you have proper stitches. So slip stitching, back loop only. So I am at the end, and you can go under the one loop like this and chain one, or you can go under the full stitch as I did before, like so. Do your slip stitch and chain one and turn your work, and simply continue placing your slip stitches. And remember, count your rows. So I am on row 3 and I will finish my 15 rows, so my slippers will be exactly the same. So I have just finished my 15th row and I'm ready to fasten off like this. Leave your yarn and longer. And now we are ready to sew. So we are going to fold our slippers like this. And it doesn't matter which side, because they both look exactly the same. So fold it. I prefer to start in this corner here, and then we're gonna go all the way down. So prepare your yarn needle and your yarn. Now go through both layers and create a knot like this. And you can hide it now, or you can hide it later. You can also hide it inside like this, and while you sew you can hide your end as well. It's up to you. So we are going to sew it like this. I started on this side, and then from the inside I go outside, and again from the inside I go outside like this. And you can sew the way you like or prefer, it's up to you. So I'm hiding the end and sewing like this until I reach that corner at the bottom of my slippers, like this. And I am nearly at the corner right here. And now we're gonna sew the bottom part of our slippers. So I will sew like this. Simply just continue. Do not cut your yarn off. And simply sew all the way to the other side like this, until you get to the other corner right here. And make sure the slippers are not moving. You can use the pegs or you can use the small clips, because if you use the pins they won't stay in. So continue sewing all the way across. So I am nearly at the end, very close to this corner. and I will place last stitch here. And now we are ready to finish with the front of our slipper like this. So I will place larger stitches and very close to the edge like this. And make sure you won't get tangled as I just did. There you go. So you will place about 1 centimeter long stitches like this all the way around. And I have only last stitch left here, and make sure these ends are not in the way, so I will place my last stitch right here where I started, and now I'm going to pull my yarn like this to close the gap in the front. And once you got it, make sure you will place few stitches across like this, and you will close this gap completely. Like so. And do your best. And then you can hide these ends later on. And once you have it closed completely, you can do 2-3 knots like this. Cut your yarn, leave the end longer, and you need to hide all these ends. And just to make it extra secure, you can tie 1 or 2 knots, and it will hold your slippers really well. Now turn your slippers the right way out, stretch it a little bit, and make sure it's looking amazing. And this is your slipper. Really invisible stitching, so you have the sole and you can't even see the seam. This is your front. And now for the last part, you can place the buttons if you like. You can add 3, you can add only 1. It's up to you. Just play with the buttons and you will see what you like. So I have done 1 and I'm going to place another one just to show you how to sew them on. So I went from the bottom and I left that long yarn end at the top, as you can see, and now I'm placing the button, and I will go inside like this, and then back, and I come out just under my button like this, and I will do 2 to 3 wraps around the button so the button will stand up a little bit, and I will do 1 to 2 knots like so, very tight, and cut your yarn. And of course you can sew it the way you like or prefer. It doesn't have to be my way. And I have 2 buttons and I decided to add 1 more. And this is it. These are our beautiful, very unique slippers. Don't forget to add non-slippery treatment to your slippers because they can be very, very slippery on the wooden floors. I will leave the video at the end So don't forget to check it out. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it, share it, and of course don't forget to subscribe to my channel, Unique Stitch Designs. Thank you very much for watching.